more about complex fractions. Okay, they are complex, but they're not too hard to do. Okay, we're just going to break it down one step at a time. Now, before I teach on this complex fractions, I want you to remember this, and this is, I want you to leave as a standard kind of up in the top of your corner of your paper. So I'm going to go and write this standard up here. So for example, if we were adding fractions, for example, 2/4 plus 1/3, for example. Okay, what would be my first step?
It'd be get a common denominator.
Common denominator. So, to be able to get a common denominator on this one, I would need to take 4 times 3, right? Yep. So what we're actually doing is going 4 times 3 equals 12, right? Mm-hmm. Okay? And so, since I already have a 3, what am I going to multiply by to get a 12? A 4, right? Mm-hmm. So this is actually multiplying by 4 to get a 12. This one, so what you do at the bottom, you also have to do at the top. Remember this? Yep. Okay? And then let's do this one. So 4, in order to get to the denominator is 12, we have to go 4 times 3. Okay? But because we already have a 4, 4 times what equals 12? 3. So because I multiplied by 3 on this one, I'm going to have to multiply 3 on this one and get 6. Okay? Then what we do is take this 6 plus this 4, 6 plus 4 over 12. And 6 plus 4, you add the denominator and get 10. And then 12 stays the same, right? And then we would reduce. Yeah. Okay, leave this as your, and now I'm not going to reduce because it's not important, because that's not what we're actually doing. Okay, what we're actually doing is letters. Because it's letters, it's harder. So stay with me. All right, you may have learned this briefly from the last few lessons we've done. So AB plus XY. Now, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to go in and write them vertically rather than horizontally. Okay, so AB plus XY. Yep. Well, what do we have to do? We have to come up with the same denominator. So just like we did 4 times 3 and got 12, when you multiply letters, they don't come up with a different answer. The answer is that letter multiplied. So B times Y is BY. B times Y is BY. Just like 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 3 is 12, okay? That's what I was trying to show right here, okay? Now, BY. So now you ask yourself, okay, if I have a Y here, in order to get BY, what do I need to multiply by? B times B. So what I do at the bottom, I do at the top. So XB or BX, that's fine. And then B here, and in order to get BY, I have to multiply by Y, right? Yep. So I have to do the top, what I do at the bottom. So this becomes AY. Right? And just like I did 6 plus 4 and got 10 as my numerator, I'm going to go AY plus XB, AY plus XB, because you can't add those together and get an answer, all over the denominator. And the denominator is BY, right? Yep. You understand this? Yep. So, the final answer here, you can't really cross anything out because BY is here, AY is here, and XB is here. So this is the final answer. 10/12 is the final answer. We have to reduce, but anyway. And then this one, this is all you can do. Okay, so that's just an example because now you're going to get to something harder. So if you didn't understand what I just said, go back and listen to the lesson over and over and over until that makes sense. Because now I'm going to add in complex fractions. Okay, so for example, you're going to have a problem that looks like this. So basically, this is saying xy plus 1y all over xy minus 1y. Okay, now, before you figure out, and we're actually going to divide, you're going to figure out the total answer for this, get the answer, total answer for this, and then we're going to rewrite it and get the final answer. Okay, but before we do that, let's look at just this problem. Okay? When I'm looking at adding fractions, I have to look to see, do I have the same denominator? Do I have the same denominator?
Yes.
Yes. So I actually can just write this one as x plus 1 over y. Right? Because we already have the same denominator? Yeah. So if we were to write that, then that's what it would look like. Okay? Now let's do this one. Does this one have the same denominator?
Yes.
Yes. So what can I write?
Y.
x minus 1 over y. So, you see how I finished this here. So I'm done with that one. And now I'm going to put over, and then let's go and finish this one, x minus 1 over y. Right?
Yep.
Okay? Because they're all over y. Got it? Alright, let me make sure I'm taking all the steps that I need to do. Okay. Now, I really need to move this out of the way. I kind of need that there too, so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this, x plus 1 over y divided by. So I'm going to write divided by, and what am I dividing it by? We're going to divide by x minus 1 over y, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but, so I can actually get rid of this division bar and this underneath, because I wrote it in a different form, which you always need to do with fractions, once you get the answer on the top and the answer on the bottom. Staying with me?
Yep.
Now, do you remember what to do when you're dividing fractions?
You flip it.
You can't, yes, because you can't divide fractions, you have to multiply them. So this division becomes multiplication, and this x minus 1 over y becomes y, they flipped, they're reciprocal, y x minus 1.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? Now, do you remember cross multiplying or canceling?
Yes.
Y can cancel, right? It could just become 1 and 1,
Yep.
if that's how you want to do it. Okay, and so then you get the final answer, x plus 1 on top, over, because this would be 1 times that, which is still that. Okay, and then x minus 1 on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Final answer.
Yep.
Okay, got it? Okay, now they're going to get more complex as we move along. Okay, but that is the first step that I wanted you to see. All right, this next one, 1 plus 1 over x. Then they put that all over 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First thing we want to do is, well, this is just 7, so we're just going to leave that for now. Let's look up here. Do these, well, we got a whole number and a fraction. So what's a way I can make 1 into a fraction?
1 over 1.
1 over 1. That's what we're doing. Do they have the same denominator?
No.
No. Problem, we have to come up with the same denominator, figure out that before we can even move on. So, I'm going to take this, okay, and we're going to move it down here, 1 over 1 plus 1 over x. Okay, now, just like we did this, how am I going to come up with the same denominator?
You times it.
Okay, 1 times x is 1x, right?
Yep.
Okay, now, we've got the same denominator, good. Now, what did I do from here to here to get this answer? I multiplied it by 1, right?
Yep.
Multiply by 1, 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, what did I do from here to get here?
By
Times x, times x. What you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top.
Yep.
1 times x is 1x, right?
Yep.
Okay, so now, I add the numerators. 6 plus 4 is 10. 1x plus 1, 1x plus 1, all over 1x. With me?
Yep.
Okay, so now, instead of this up here, we're going to write that answer. Got it? 1x plus 1 over 1x. Okay? Let me see, make sure I'm still doing all this right. Okay, now, this is all over 7, which I'm going to make into a fraction, 7 over 1, because 7 is 7 over 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, I'm going to rewrite this problem, and this division bar I'm going to make into a division sign. And then this 7 over 1, I'm just going to bring to the right. Okay, so you still with me?
Yep.
Okay. So, I brought it up here, and now what am I going to do?
You are going to cross multiply.
I'm going to multiply, so this division becomes times, and this 7 ones becomes 1 over 7. Okay, let me make sure I'm still on the right steps. Good. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and go 1 times this, which is still going to give us the same answer, because 1 times anything is still the same answer. So, this is going to be x plus 1, or 1x plus 1 if that makes you feel better. Okay? And then 7 times 1x becomes 7x, right?
Yep.
Still with me?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so this is the final answer. And the book does not put a 1 with the x, so you don't have to, you can.
Yeah.
I always like to, if you want to erase it at the end, this is the final answer.
Yep.
X plus 1 over 7x. Alright? Alright, let's do another one. Practice makes perfect, so let's keep trying these, and hopefully you'll get them. Okay? This next one's similar to our last one. So you can go in and move and try to do some of those on your own. But the next two are a little bit harder. So let's go and do this one. 1x, 1 over x, divided by 1 minus 1 over x. Again, we ask ourselves, here's a problem right here. I need the same denominator. So I'm going to make this 1 over 1. But I still don't have the same denominator. So I'm going to move this down and work it. 1 over 1 minus 1 over x. Okay? How do I get the same common denominator? 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times x is 1x. That becomes my common denominator. So times 1 times x. I'm moving a little bit faster. Times x, 1x. So then, 6 plus 4 is 10. 1x minus 1 all over common denominator 1x. Okay, so this is my new answer for this right here. 1x minus 1 over 1x. I'm going to erase the rest of that. Okay, now I have a fraction on top, and it's just one of them, so the denominator doesn't matter. So now I'm just going to write this. This says 1x over all this. So I'm going to divide by, that's what this division bar means, divided by 1x minus 1 over 1x. I'm going to erase that. And now I can't divide fractions, so I can multiply them, and then this has to flip. So 1x over 1x minus 1. Okay? And now we multiply. Okay? So, let me make sure. So this is 1x, and then this can be 1x, because 1 is always with an x. There's always a number 1, even if you can't see it. Okay? Because there's 1x. Okay? Now, here's what I need you to do. These cross out. Do you see that? Okay? So then you get 1 on the top. 1 times nothing is 1. And then 1x minus 1 is the answer. Okay, so let me look and see if we got the final answer on that one. Yes, we did. 1 over x minus 1. So remember, that's how the book states it. Okay? So that would be that answer. Okay, let's look at the next one. This is 68.4. There's 2 more, and really pay attention on these ones because they get a little bit harder. Okay, so here we go. A over b plus a whole number 1, all divided by x over b plus a whole number 4. Now, first off, I'm going to go in and put 4 over 1 and 1 over 1 just to make fractions, okay? So we're going to have to make denominators the same on this one and denominators the same on this one. So let's pull this one down first and start working on it. A over b plus 1 over 1. Again, 4 times 3 is 12. B times 1 is b1 or 1b. 1b times b to get that answer times 1 times 1, 1a. Okay? So when I complete this, I'm going to end up getting 1a plus 1b all over 1b is my denominator. So I'm going to go and erase that and put it up top. 1a plus 1b all over 1b. Now, let's go on and do the second one. This xb plus 4 over 1. 1 times b is 1b, that's my common denominator. Now what did I do from here to here? Times it by b, times it by b. What you do at the bottom, you have to do the top. Times 1 times 1, what you do at the bottom, you have to do the top. So then I get 1x plus 4b all over 1b. I'm going to write that right there. 1x plus 4b all over 1b. Okay? Now you're going to take this answer, and you see this division bar. You're actually going to write division like that, and put 1x plus 4b all over 1b. When you take that off. And now you can't divide fractions, so you're going to have to multiply them. Okay? And now we're going to have to flip these. So this becomes 1b all over 1x plus 4b. I believe that's what I had written down. I erased it too quick almost. Okay, so now, can I cross multiply anything? Well, this 1b and this 1b cross multiply out and cancel. So then 1a plus 1b times 1 would equal that, over 1 times 1x plus 4b. And that's that. Now, when you see the answer in the book, again, they take off the 1s, so it would just read a plus b all over x plus 4b. Just like that. Alright, last one. Now this is where, pay attention on this one, this is where it gets really hard. Because they're going to put in negative numbers. Okay, this causes, oh my goodness, what do I do? You know, kind of thought process. So, hang in there and watch what I do. So I'm writing the problem, first thing. Okay, now your very first thing is we're going to try to make all of our negative exponents into positive exponents. Okay, so let's take this. We'll do this one, and then we'll go to this one in a minute. So let's do this one. Okay, let's take a to the negative 1 x plus b to the negative 1 y. And now, I'm trying to get all my negative 1's to make a positive 1. Do you remember how to do that?
You make it 1 over...
Right. So, this basically moves to the bottom. So I'm going to move it to the bottom. So this a minus 1 becomes a to the 1. This, when you move it down underneath a line, becomes a over 1. The x doesn't have to do anything because it's already positive. So I'm going to erase that now that I've moved it. With me? Mm-hmm. And now, this one says plus b over 1. So I'm going to move this one, b1, down underneath. Okay? So now it becomes x over a1 plus y over b1. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me make sure I'm doing all of this right. Okay, so now, this is one problem plus this is one problem. Now we have to come up with the same denominator, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me make sure I'm still doing this right. Yes. Okay, so now I'm still working on this one. All I've done is put negative exponents into positive exponents. So now I have x over a1 plus y over b1. Now I'm going to remove this and put it up higher. X over a1 all over y over b1, and that's going to be added. So again, you want to come up with the same denominator. So 4 times 3 is 12, a times b is ab. So you can just drop the 1 at that point. It doesn't matter. Okay? Mm-hmm. Unless you want to, you can put 1s on them. I don't care. Okay? And then, so, if AB is our common denominator, what did I get from B to get to AB? I times it by A. So I have to times this one by A. AY. I'm going to put everything in alphabetical order, AY, AB. Okay, and then, so this is A to get to AB becomes I have to multiply it by B times B. So that comes XB or BX. I'm going to make everything alphabetical order, BX. So the final answer is 6 plus 4 right here, BX plus AY. BX plus AY all over AB is our answer. So this portion up top, answer so far is BX plus AY all over AB.
Yep.
See what I did?
Yep.
Now I have to do this one. Mm-hmm. So anything x that's just a normal number, you can put it over 1.
Yeah.
Okay, just like you could have done up there. Mm-hmm. So then, if I take this x negative 1 and move it down to the bottom, it becomes x positive 1. And so then the 1 moves up top, because there's something that has to be up there. Got it?
Yep.
1 over x1. Alright, so we've got this answer and we've got this answer.
Yep.
Got it? Mm-hmm. Now, so this says this divided by this. So we're going to divide by this. Okay? Now I'm going to times, actually I'm going to make that a dot because we have an x right here. So we don't get that x mixed up. Okay, so times, and then we got to flip this. So x over 1 over 1. Alright, now this is multiplied by this and this is multiplied by this. There's nothing that can cross out. So you just say x times this, so it becomes x times bx plus ay. They don't actually want you to actually multiply it. Are you looking?
Yes.
See how this x times this? We just wrote x times this. They don't actually want you to multiply it out.
Yeah.
Okay? All over ab times 1, which is just ab. Final answer? Final answer. That's exactly how the book reads it. The letters are sometimes different, xb and ya or ay. It doesn't matter. That's okay. So tell your mom but that means the same thing. Okay? That is lesson 68.